very good.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
Beautiful morning to you once again. Don't forget you're still listening to Lagoon Radio, your number one online gospel radio station in Nigeria. We're broadcasting from the very out of Lagos Marina. Don't forget to also follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Twitter and on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng. Right about now is the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio. Don't forget to download the app on your Google Play Store or your Apple Store, depending on the device that you are using to listen to the live broadcast here on Lagoon Radio. My name is Olumakaiye, and with me in the studio is Shabi Olibia Taiwo. I also have with me Henry. Yes, Henry's here with us today.
Yeah. Ariola Janoku.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Innit? And also have one and only Simidele Okay with us in the building. Yes, Ke.
I thought she was even doing this.
Good morning. I was gonna say,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, 34 minutes gone past 9 a.m. West African time. Still the 9th day in the month of November 2021. And right about now, I'll be going straight into a review of the newspapers that we have. We have the Nigerian News Direct, Daily Sun, Daily Assets, This Nigeria, Nigerian Pilot, Nigerian Tribune, National Economy Blueprint, Business Day, This Day, Daily Times, Leadership, and likes of many others. And I'll be kickstarting the review with the Nigerian News Direct. $415 million Paris Club, Governor Salami AGF working against Nigeria's interests. You can find that on page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct. Cybercrime, NCC report news malware, abstract MO and attacking Android devices. You can read up more on page 2. Kyari has transformed NNPC. PPRAC says. You can read up on page 2. Page 2 seems like so much of details in it. Fidelity Bank MD tax employees on ethics and integrity. You can read up more on page 4 of the Nigerian News Direct. We can also find National Treasury Workshop, OAGF, to discuss COVID-19 impact on global economy. Nigerian Treasury stage. You can read up more on page 5 of the Nigerian News Direct. Inconclusive Anambra poll. INEC begins supplementary election in Hiala local government area today. Read up on page 23 of the Nigerian News Direct. Rising cost of cooking gas. Napalm Gam charges silver for urgent intervention. Page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct.
I saw that in the news this morning.
Exactly.
It rises from 3,000 naira to 10,200 naira, 200 naira, and I was wondering, like,
Depends on the location. Depends on the location.
how much is gas in your location?
Someone said
Exactly. Location varies.
12,000.
Wow.
Someone said they bought it at 12,000 because there was this.
It depends
girl-
on the location, but the rise in the price is too much, and it's because of I think there's the reason for the odds is actually from the manufacturers.
from the gas
From
plants.
Yes, that's from the LPG, importing to Nigeria
And finally, from the Nigerian News Direct, 2.3 billion naira fraud. Maina brags 8 years imprisonment after attempts to abscond fail. You can read up on page 23 of the Nigerian News Direct. Over to you, Shab.
All right. Okay, so I'll be taking the Daily Sun. Obasanjo Sultan and others raised the alarm over failing education. You can read up on page 26. Paris Club deductions. Governors furious with Malami. And right under it says, accuse AGF of working against Nigerians' interest. Looted assets. We've recorded appreciable milestone, says Justice Minister. This you can read up on pages 5 and 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper.
You know that that thing that you said the last time I saw you, I was like this. You know the way people say. So I was saying that since I've been end of this Paris club, I was like this. I was a 2-year-old.
And now you're like this.
And now like this. And I was talking about this Paris club thing. It is well.
Amen. Still on the paper, Nigerian facing new dimension of threat, says Defense Minister. The right under it says, reps frown at delay in completion of naval project. The story is right on page 6. 2.1 billion naira court jails Maina 8 years. And the story is on page 4. Okay, so this story of Maina, I also read it this morning. Okay, so I want to say something about to
Okay.
read about it so we understand them. You know. Okay, 1 second. 1 second.
Nina.
Yeah, I think the case has been going on since 2019.
Yes, when they arrested him and his son, right?
And they gave him 61 years.
Imprisonment.
Yes.
And then he jumped bail or something.
Well, approximately, he has spent 8 years, so he has 6 years left. So that's the story. Well, you can read up on page 4. He said he defrauded federal government. Now
Yes,
they are going to seize all his 3 landed properties, his bulletproof jeeps and other cars.
Just that.
And they are going to auction it, and it's going to go to the account of the federal government.
All this
Straight
account,
up.
all this money that's going to federal government, it is well, because everything has been going to federal government account. I must still borrow money. Everything they get goes to federal government account, and we're still going to be borrowing money at the end of the day. So who is giving account for it? That's the truth. Because Mena, I think if I look at it, was in charge of pensions. And then that's how he stole money. And then at the end of the day, we're still talking about him. It was the same person that his son pulled gun and didn't want them to arrest them.
I guess it's just the unlucky one amongst all.
No, it's not that he's unlucky. Don't be surprised if he decides to run for presidency.
Exactly.
So
I guess this is another way of bringing him out again.
yeah, like it's the usual thing and all that.
Just to pay all the attention on him for people to you need to
actually-
register that name.
Yeah.
So 2023 or 2020, whenever the election is.
2027.
So I think
Can
that
always-
basically is actually giving people freedom to do whatever they want when they're in power, and with the intention that anyway, if I'm arrested, if I'm
Nigerians will
jailed,
forget.
Nigerians will forget.
It's just a
with
matter of time.
You
After a short
understand that
while,
kind of
they'll
thing.
get
So,
over
and,
it,
to me,
yes.
I feel the judgment that should be passed for things like that should be more intense, to the extent that they should even be scared. People should even be scared to say they want to
Come out
they
of
want
their
to
house.
come out of their house, thank you, or they want to commit a particular crime.
Just
You
like
understand?
body
It shouldn't be
judge.
overlooked. It shouldn't be overlooked. We overlook things we are not supposed to overlook a lot, and it shouldn't be that way.
And that's why we are where we are today.
Exactly.
All right. Anambra INEC holds supplementary election in Hiala today. And the right under it says, have not made comment on Guba poll Umahi. Thank you. Well, the story is right on pages 13 and pages 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Kalu passionate about Nigerians' unity. Lawan tells northern governors and monarchs. The story is right on page 28. And at the very bottom, OML 11, Wike most suitable to lead discussion with federal government. Page 6 of the paper. We can see pictures. We could see a picture on the front page there, where if you get the paper, you can read. You can get the full details of that. Moving on.
Very, very frank, Governor Wiki. Like, he would tell you the way it is. If he says anything and you clap, he would tell you, I've not told you to clap after.
Are you clapping about?
What are you clapping about? I'm saying all these things so that you can sit and think about it, And at times it could sound rude and kind of, but at least he still says the truth in his own way. Okay, so let's move on to this Nigeria. Boldly written on the front page, Anambra election test of Nigeria's democracy, says INEC. And the writer under that, we've made watertight security arrangement, says the IGP. And you can
Anambra.
for Anambra. And can get that on page 5 of this Nigeria. The right at the top, security operatives clash with gunmen trying to hijack inmate at Lagos court. Can get the full details on page 15 of this Nigeria. Ikoyi 21-story tragedy. Caterpillar operator chiseled pillar before collapse, says supervisor. And right under that, 5 pillars defective, and death toll, it's 22. Probe panel setup. You can get the full details on page 4 of this Nigeria. As Plateau Assembly sealed as contending parties embark on negotiation. Can get that on page 10 of this Nigeria. And Nigeria doesn't need new road project, says Fashola. Can get that on page 4 of this Nigeria. And right at the front, we have a picture of the 21-story building that collapsed last week. And we have Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu during his inspection visit to the site of the Ikoyi building collapse yesterday. That's all on this Nigeria.
Okay. So on daily assets, we have 5G network, armless to humans. That's NCC. That's on page 2 of daily access. And then we have court jails minor 8 years for money laundering and corruption. So the rider under it is EFCC presents first witness against the former NSITF boss. Calls 78 more witnesses.
On top one person.
Yeah, we just started. So.
You didn't have any cases they filed.
That's what I just started.
That's what I'm saying. On top one person.
Money laundering and corruption is not something that is done individually. It's a joint something.
Yes, it can't be
People have
alone.
hands in it.
But if we're going to do like China, is it China? China that once you are caught stealing, they are going to prison or they are killing you. You know, when we have all those serious penalties, right? You would think 10 before you do
not even think twice.
You would think 10. you even question your family and say, "Are you sure you're not going to embarrass me? Are you sure?" That is what we should get to that stage. We have so many people that have gone to prison. Like, I'm sorry, but we have to say it. Body judge. It was caught stealing. Tafa Balogun. That one, in fact, his younger staff then was maybe El Rufai or what Rev'd, one of them. I can't remember which of them was dragging him with the car. His youngest, and then at the end of the day, they are coming out. We are still celebrating them. So until we get to that point where your family will tell you that, if you take meats from that pot, someone they will kill you. Come and do burial. See, until then, we are not serious. So let's just continue. Reps pass Armed Forces Trust Fund Bill. Transmit 19 orders to Senate. That can be found on page 2 also of Daily Asset. Then Niger. Is it Niger?
Niger.
Okay. You know where I used to borrowing. So Niger to borrow 100.4 billion naira for 2022 budget. But how is that about? Is it a state?
Yeah.
Okay, Niger State.
Niger State. It's Niger State. Yeah, that's
okay. So
the capital is Mina. So is it that Niger State wants to borrow 100.4 billion naira from the federal government or from the federal government that is still thinking of borrowing, but that is still borrowing?
So the borrowing that federal government is borrowing is not a collective
borrowing
for
again.
everybody.
Then I feel it's supposed to be a collective borrowing. Like okay, after you borrow, distribute to the states, government, and let them use. So there's no need to be borrowing. Yeah,
They should come
Our network of borrowing in Nigeria is something else.
The chain is not a long chain. It's a limited and short one.
In fact,
it is where.
Yeah.
FG moves amendments to Correctional Service Act. That can be found on page 12. So this correctional service, that's the prison, Abi, where they've been breaking. It is well. Nigeria facing new dimension of threat. Defense Minister, let's keep it because I don't want my blood to go up. Bauchi governor charges judicial officers to discharge duties with fear of God. Hallelujah. That can be found in page 5.
That's good. At least there's still someone that actually urges that discharge your duties with fear of God. Because basically, let's not just lie to ourselves. It actually starts from the in-house. If you cannot perform your responsibility, your in-house responsibility with the fear of God, you can't go out there to perform your responsibility with fear of God. So you have to start in the in-house and extend it out there. So, and I think at least there's someone that could actually think about it.
He's charging the judicial officers. He's not talking to the legislative. Those ones that used to impeach people up and down.
He's starting small.
You start from judicial body.
Okay. Adamawa Judiciary records 100 cases, 6 million naira IGR in past legal year. That can be found in page 10, right?
Yeah, 100,000 cases.
Okay. Then Plateau head of service emerges GOSA president. That can be found in page
6.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. We have lots of recurrent stories that we have taken, but a different one here says attack on NDA Air Force arrest sergeant. You can read up more on page 17 of the Nigerian Tribune. Deducting the sum of $418 million Paris Club refund from Federation accounts on lawful, NGF says, and the writer under that says alleges $186.5 million and other bills wrongly paid in 2016-2018 to contractors. You can read up on page 3. And we can also find Imo Assembly Speaker removed. You can read up more on page 22. A lot has been happening in Imo States recently. So, and another says Federal University Lokoja engages 60 hunters to beef up security. When do we start using hunters?
What state is that? Lokoja.
Yes, as security measures.
So Lokoja is Kogi.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, you can read up more on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Experts canvass integrity test for 2 remaining buildings around Ikoyi. Bereaved family besiege hospital for DNA. Lagos Assembly wants compensation for victims and families. You can read up more on page 27. And we have special reports saying Nigeria losing billions of naira as uncleared cargoes fill up seaports. You can read up more on page 8. Nimasa Director General receives Zig Award. You can read up more on page 6. And Niger to borrow 100.4 billion naira to finance 2022 budgets. You can read up more on page 25. And that is pretty much about it. Other stories are recurring stories.
All right, moving on to the Nigerian pilot. Anambra Guba poll reschedule. Ihala local government poll oaths today. Page 7 of the paper. Restructuring will end bad leadership in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Arewa youth. Do you say yes to that?
The restructuring will end bad leadership.
Yeah.
We've been restructuring from the word go. It's not the first time we'll be restructuring, and it's not the first time we'll be talking about restructuring.
Doing it right now. I think it's
restructuring right. Restructuring right, and doing it right basically, because I think a lot of people are actually scared to go into what we call politics in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Some people are actually not scared, the younger ones that would love to go there.
Do they have enough experience?
Do they have that?
Do they have what it takes?
Do they have what it takes? Do they have enough resources?
Yeah, what it takes. What it takes, like, do they have what it takes? Like, what?
Do they have enough backings? Because you've not been there. These people have been there.
That's what we're saying. Because those people, they started from somewhere, and the issue of godfatherism has entered into politics to the extent that if you don't have a godfather, even if you have the right attitude to be in a particular position, if you don't have a godfather, you ain't going nowhere.
That's it. If you don't have the right backings.
Godfathers are not mentoring young ones. That there's no. They feel like they have that power that is secluded to them alone, and
to me, what I've seen is the whole issue of godfatherism is maybe when you get there, you still remember me. I'll be the one to be dictating for you. I'll be the one to be telling you what happens. Yes,
exactly. Because you have a different mind.
It's not even really supposed to be. You don't dictate. You can advise as a godfather.
And I can be sure if you have youth leading that place, any godfatherism act or whatever, it's going to come to an end because they're not going to listen to you.
But basically now, I'm of the opinion that even before any youth goes there, we need to change our orientation. Because let's not lie to ourselves. The orientation of most youths is when you get there, chop money.
Do what my ancestors do.
I can't be here and not chop money. So I think there should be a time we should look forward to a better Nigeria that someone would just be at that position and will be like, okay, all these allowances are unnecessary. We are cutting it off. We are limiting it to so amount.
By the time you know it, you clear them off.
You're getting sitting allowance. Sitting allowance for what? You get to the meeting, you start dozing. And after the meeting, you have nothing to bring forth. It doesn't add up at all. So to me, I believe we should first work on ourselves individually, change our orientation.
Yeah,
once
I get there, I want to chop money. We know.
Exactly.
We know you're going to do that, and if you're really, really an honest person, you might not do it. But
You should
do
not.
what you're meant to do first, so people won't
Exactly.
even focus on you. If you're doing what you're supposed to, people won't even notice your.
The other side.
You're doing your own side. You're having your own side also, or your own
Exactly.
side.
On a lighter note, I watched this video of a woman that was interviewed that if she becomes, I think, a governor for a day, what will she do? You watch that video. The first thing the woman said is, "I'm Jenny."
Yes, so
Yes,
we have
that
thing.
bad?
You
Is
know,
that bad?
I'm going
Is
to
that
siphon
bad?
money that she will even turn to snake. She won't turn to monkey. That she will turn to spider, and she's going to because
be the web,
it got to a
random.
stage. Snakes started cutting
Yes.
away with money in
Yeah.
Nigeria and all that. So that's the orientation for a woman, a married woman, a mother of
mother.
children, for that matter. What do you expect her to teach her children?
Is that bad?
Is that bad? So we need to
Kowo
change our
Gen
orientation
Nigeria Limited.
personally.
Well, the story is right on page 5 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper, and we have boldly written on the front page, Malami against us. Nigeria's Governors Forum says $418 million deduction from federal government account meant for private contractors. Wonder why AGF Malami backs such contractors desperate to grab taxpayers' money. Wants Malami to remain neutral, protect public resources. Insists that professionalism, caution, due diligence must prevail on the matter. All this you find on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. Imo Assembly Speaker sacked. Impeached Deputy Speaker reinstated. This you find on page 9 of the paper. Obasanjo, Sultan and others make case for effective day secondary school.
Wait, so now I saw that thing on education, and I'm wondering because are we just waking up to realize that the education system is failed already? There was one, I think the Minister for Education, I'm not sure what day, but maybe last week, where he said it would take 120 years for us to be able to fine-tune the education system in
Because we
Nigeria.
didn't make it as a priority. If we
From
make
the
it a
beginning.
priority from the beginning, it's not going to take time. You know, all this money we are borrowing, why can't we invest it
Invest it
in
into
what
educational
we
sector.
into what we know that would bring us
So we see the
this thing in
allocation, and
future.
then you see the allocation. You look at the priority, and you realize that education is not. They don't even prioritize it at all.
Exactly.
They don't prioritize it. They don't prioritize the health system. But you are complaining that we're having brain. What's that? Brain drain or brain dead or clinical. You are complaining that people are not performing. But then it's sad. It's sad that Obasanjo was a president before, and you're the person saying this. Was your eyes closed? Were you sleeping when you were the president? Why didn't you do something? I mean, if you did something, I won't have a problem with you if you are complaining now. But then, all the best, Obasanjo.
All right, thank you very much. Well, the story is right on page 12. Federal government assures Nigerians on 5G network says they are safe. Page 10 of the paper. Empowerment not solution to youth unemployment. Federal government. This you find on page 5. Pantami's professorship as
Did you just keep that? No, did you just keep that?
That we're meant to talk
The
about
empowerment,
it,
not solution
that
to
was
youth
why I swallowed. I
unemployment.
don't know what to say because you can't be speechless. God be speechless.
Yes, because I feel like every Nigerian leader out there feels like, okay, let's empower them. It's like you're giving them money, giving them this. So yeah, now Shebi government has given you this. So yeah, go and start up now. Shebi
See what they've
No,
given
one thing
enough.
is to give and tell them to go and start up. Another thing is to patronize them.
Patronize
Because if you
and
give them
mentor
something,
them,
yeah,
honestly.
patronize and mentor them, train them. If you just give them go and start up, my dear, they will finish the money.
They won't be able to account for what they use. the
That
money
is
for
it.
in days, and it's all.
So you
gone.
should mentor them, and you should be able to patronize them as well. You know, it will really go a long way.
Okay, that you can find on page 7. Page 5, sorry. Pantami's professorship ASU panel grills photo registrar recommends litigation. Page 7 of the Nigerian Pilot. Lokoja University employs 60 hunters to help fight insecurity. Page 7 as well. At the very bottom, 2.1 billion pension loot. Court finally jails Abdulrazak Mina, 8 years. This story you find on page 8. And we can see on the front page a picture of the operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service clash over who will have the custody of jailed former pensions boss Abdulrazak Mina yesterday at the Federal Court, Abuja.
No, you serious? They're already fighting. God. So they're going to put him in Aso Rock there. Abi?
They should decide wherever he wants to be. He has been jailed. He has been sentenced. So the decision is theirs.
Okay, because time is not on our side, we'll be drawing it now and here and red curtains for today's newspaper review here and now. I hope you had a handful of everything discussed. For more news, don't forget to watch a review of how the show went down today on our YouTube channel LagoonTV, and don't forget to subscribe to our news blog Lagoon.News. Follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook Lagoon Radio Nigeria, Twitter and on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng. Do also download the app on your Google Play Store, your App Store, depending on the device that you're using, be it an Android and iPhone. And that is pretty much about it here and now. Up next by 10 a.m. is the Moment of Truth for today by the
Anyways, Faisal, are you in a hurry? Are you in a hurry for Wednesday?
When I came in this morning, what did I ask you? I said, is today Tuesday or Wednesday?
Like,
I don't know. I'm feeling like today is Wednesday already.
She wants the week to end.
Today is Tuesday.
Anyways, my name is Olumakaiye. With me in the studio is Shabilegbe Adiola Taiwo, Amela Ajanoku, and Simidele Okay.
It's a bye.
It's a good morning from us.
Bye.
Lagoon Radio.